Okay, welcome to this class on a crash course in koshering and running a kosher kitchen. So number one, a person's going to realize any kitchen can be made kosher. Whether it's a fashionable kitchen, old kitchen, doesn't make a difference. So the question is, what do you do? What's the order? How do you begin? So even before your kitchen is made kosher, start preparing for change. Buy only foods that are certified kosher. Okay, so the person's going to make sure, number one, is whatever comes into the kitchen has to be kosher. Begin to keep meat and dairy separate. So you're starting the process of kosher in the kitchen. Before you even start the process, make sure all the food that comes in is kosher. Number two, yes, go ahead.
If the meat is in one package, well, the meat basically goes into the freezer most of the time anyway, but sometimes it gets stuff to use during the week.
Right.
But you can keep it on the same shelf.
One second, we didn't get there. One second.
Okay.
Slowly. So first we're talking about the beginning of the process. First, make sure that everything is kosher. Number two is start separating meat and milk, which we have to talk about. Many people use disposable utensils before going kosher. Take out all the questionable foods and discard all the food that was cooked before the kitchen became kosher. That's number one priority. Number two, inventory of all the things which go in the kitchen. Okay? Divide your items in the kitchen in two categories. Some things cannot be used in a kosher kitchen. You have all the ceramic plates which a person used before that. And hot foods, you can't kosher ceramics. You've got to make sure all the utensils which you had already have to be koshered. We're going to talk about that a little bit. You have to kosher the utensils you had previously, or you buy new ones. And if you buy new ones, you have to make sure they go to the mikveh. All right? We're going to talk about that as well. So a person has to buy new items. They're going to make sure the ones are set aside for meat. They have one set aside for milk. And according to Ashkenazim, you need part of dishes as well. Three sets. For Sephardim, it's much simpler. 2 sets of dishes are enough. That even if you cook something in a meaty pot, does not make it meaty for Sephardim. So it's much easier. It's parv, still parv. You make rice in a meat pot for Sephardim, it's not bar nut, and therefore the rice is still parv. For Ashkenazim, the rice becomes meaty. You shouldn't eat that rice with dairy. For Ashkenazim. That rice got some meaty flavor in it, and therefore you cannot eat that rice with dairy. However, you did, no problem.
But that's works on account of what got absorbed by the pot itself.
Yeah, the pot is a meaty pot.
Right.
So whatever's cooked in the pot, it becomes.
Well, becomes meat, but
According to Ashkenazim, according to Sephardim, it doesn't. That's the big difference between Sephardim and Ashkenazim. So let's just recap. Any kitchen can be made kosher. Begin preparing for the change. Buy only food which are certified kosher. Start keeping meat and dairy separate. Make an inventory of all the items in your kitchen which you need. Separate them into meat and milk. Whatever you used already has to be koshered. Some things can't be koshered. Plastic cannot be koshered if you use it with hot. Cannot be koshered. You got to throw it out. Ceramics cannot be koshered. You got to throw it out. So a person's got to kosher. Make sure all the utensils being used. It's good to have a marker on the utensils, so the red is for meat and blue is for dairy, or you just have different types of utensils. They're not the same. So many dishes and utensils require immersion in a mikveh. So anything made out of metal and glass needs to go to a mikveh. Anything made out of metal and glass needs to go to mikveh.
Question.
Yes.
Sometimes you buy utensils that are plastic candles with a metal blade.
It has to go to mikveh. Anything with metal, anything which comes in contact with food, if it's metal, has to go in the mikveh, and you put the whole utensil with the plastic in the mikveh. Has to go in the mikveh. Everything has to go to the mikveh.
What if it's like an electronic?
So what do you do? Is you dry it out well. Put it in the mikveh and dry it out very well. Make sure it's dry before you use it, otherwise something's going to happen. Okay. And certain things cannot be put in the mikveh. So what do? So you give it to your Jewish neighbor and you borrow it back from him. As long as it doesn't belong to you, it doesn't have to go to the mikveh. Only the property of a Jew has to go to the mikveh. So if you give it to a non-Jew and it's his technically and you're just borrowing it from him, It doesn't have to go to the mikveh. So you have a toaster oven. How can you put a toaster? The truth is, you don't have to put a toaster oven in the mikveh. You just need to put the shelves. It's only things which come in contact with food. The toaster, you don't have to put the whole toaster in the oven. If you can take out the things that hold the bread, then you're going to be a technician to do that. Some people say,
Coils, those coils, the heating coils.
not the heating coils. No, they don't touch the bread. There's the holder that holds the bread. That pops in and out. Those are the metal pieces. Whatever touches the food has to go to mikveh. If it doesn't touch the food, no mikveh. So like for example, the trays in the oven. You don't put food directly on the tray. You put food in the pot and then put it in the tray. So there's no food touching the tray. The tray doesn't have to go to mikveh. Very simple. Only things which come in contact with the food. For example, a tin can opener doesn't come and go to no mikveh. For a tin can opener, why? Doesn't come in contact with food. It's only things which need.
The top of
The can opener doesn't need to go to mikveh.
The hand can
Yeah,
opener.
yeah. Maybe an electric one doesn't come in contact with food. Only things which come in contact with food and directly in food preparation need to go to mikveh. Only if they're made of metals or glass. Right? If made of plastic, no mikveh plastic. Unless it has some metal piece that comes in contact with the food.
In a toaster, you cannot. I don't know how anyone would be able to take out those little holders
Yes.
for the toaster.
Yes.
So how do
So you have two choices. So number one is you can put it in the mikveh and make sure it dries. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. The other choice is you give it to a non-Jewish neighbor and borrow it back from them. Okay? If it's not yours, there's no mikveh.
So you actually say, here, this is yours.
Here, here's a present for you. Now,
and
can
you
I
have
borrow
it
it back? Can I borrow it back?
Borrow it back.
Make sure you don't ask for it back as a
But
present.
you explain this to.
Hopefully he'll
beforehand.
understand. Yeah, tell him, listen, this is something I need to do for ritual purposes. Please don't mind. I'm going to give you a present.
So
Please,
it's a-
I need to borrow it back from you.
Yeah, so it's the right to explain it to them.
Exactly, exactly. You have to explain it to them so they don't get upset. Oh, you give me a present, I take it back. I'm borrowing it back from you. There's another alternative, and that is if you can take it apart and put it back together again, then it's like a Jew built it. Some people say it's enough to take off the plug, cut off the plug, and put a new plug. Then it's like a Jew made it. You can't use that plug. So it's like a Jew made it. If a Jew makes it a finishing product, then it's not property of a non-Jew. So a Jew made it.
Yeah, that's.
So, for example, if it's made in Israel, you can assume it's made hopefully by Jews, and it doesn't need mikvah. So you see, and then they buy pots in Israel, so they has hechsher already, no mikvah needed. Why? It's manufactured by Israeli, by Jews. Anything manufactured by Jews does not need to be put in the mikvah. It's only things which you get from non-Jews. Okay. So a person's going to know what to put in the mikveh, how to put in the mikveh. So bracha in the mikveh is Asher Kirisham Stavtzvanu Al Tevilat Keli for one or Kelim for many. So usually what you do is first put the metal, say the bracha on the metal. Because metal is from the Torah, glass is mostly from the rabbis. Okay? Now there's a big debate by aluminum, which is very, very interesting. Aluminum is not one of the metals mentioned in the Torah, and therefore a lot of people say there's no bracha on aluminum. So if you want to say a bracha, make the bracha on steel and cover the other items. That's the best thing.
Okay. Wait,
Okay,
Go
yes.
forward. So now do you have all aluminum, and then sometimes you might have another mixture of metal with aluminum.
Right.
Alloy.
So the best thing to do is get something steel. You get a fork or whatever, knife, and then make the bracha on the fork and knife, and cover everything else. You cover. Or glass. Even glass is better than aluminum. You have something glass, make a bracha on the glass, and cover the other things. Cover the other items.
What about salt shakers?
Huh? Salt shakers? Food. The glass? Mikveh. Anything that comes in contact with food has to go to the mikveh.
Salt isn't considered food.
Salt is food. Salt is a tavlin, it's food, you eat it, it's tavlin. So it's food. There's a bracha on salt. Shakol. Say bracha shakol on salt.
Right.
Yeah. So koshering utensils. How do you kosher utensils? Now you have all these non-kosher products used in your kitchen before, and now I have all these non-kosher utensils. They're all made of metal. Say they're made of metal. Very simple. Don't use them for 24 hours. Make sure they are clean with no grease or anything. If you have to put them in mikveh, put them in mikveh. And then you boil a vat of boiling hot water. And you dip it in. You dip these things in the vat. And then take them out and wash them. That's it. You just kosher it by Hagala. That's called Hagala. Anything which is used with wet heat can be kosher with wet heat. The way it goes in, that's the way it comes out. Anything which was used in the oven can only be kosher in the oven. You have according to Sephardim, glass does not need to be kosher. Interesting. Shulchan Aruch says glass does not absorb, and therefore we can use glass for meat, for milk. It's amazing. It's min hashamayim. It's so easy. Sephardim is so easy. Kashrut is so easy for Sephardim. Just with glass plates and glass this. And the question is Pyrex considered glass? So it depends. If it's clear, Shulchan Aruch says glass is not, and the fact is you can see through it. But if it's got a different color, you got problems. Then it's not considered glass anymore. If it's a brown glass, yes. Okay.
I asked my son about this because he has a problem with people telling him to kasher Pyrex. He says that Pyrex is nothing more than certain layers of glass, and first they put the colored layers on the inside, and then they put the regular clear layers on the outside, so you still have a clear layer.
No, but that's not the pshat. Pshat is the clear. The clear lets you see through it. Implies that you can't nothing absorbed. And the fact you can see through it means nothing. Here you can't see through it.
Nothing was stuck in there.
The thing is, they put other things to make it not clear. They put other items in it. They mix the glass. It's not just glass. It's something else.
So then you need to.
So halachically.
Anyway, so there's a big
versus
debate, but
scientifically.
yeah, it's better to be clear glass. This way you have no problem. That's for Sephardim. I'm sure there are other people who say even not clear glass. Rabbi Badi in Lakewood, he says all the ceramics today are glass coated and therefore they don't absorb. So all the ceramics, there's no such thing as bone china. Bone china, it's not bone china anymore. It's not earthenware anymore.
It's glazed.
It's glazed. So he says since it's glazed and glass doesn't absorb, even glazed products don't absorb. We don't go that far. I don't go that far. So I say you just use it for meat or milk, but don't use it for both. He says no. Since it's glazed, sometimes the glaze comes off. That's the trouble. It cracks in the glaze. So anyway, truth is, we're strict today. We're a little bit strict. Why not? We can afford to be strict. It doesn't cost so much money. It's amazing how cheap. It's very cheap. Thank God. Baruch Hashem. So there's an interesting Rav Moshe Feinstein. There's a question they asked Rav Moshe Feinstein about someone who got a very old pottery, very old ceramics from their mothers and grandmothers. And very beautiful old set of china, bone china, whatever, very expensive, very old, very beautiful. And they don't want to throw it out. It's not kosher. It was used for not kosher probably. They don't want to throw it out. He says, you know what? After a year of not using it, anything it absorbed turns into dust. That was Rav Moshe Feinstein, beautiful heter over there. That if it's a very old set and you don't want to throw it out, just lock it up for a year. Lock it up for a year and you can assume everything that absorbed in it is gone. And therefore there's no taste anymore. If there's no taste, kashrut all depends on taste. So normally we say 24 hours already, the taste is already ruined. It ruins the taste after 24 hours.
So we have to take it to the mikveh again?
If you never went to the mikveh, you take the mikveh.
Okay, so like
But there's no bracha. There's no bracha. Why? Because it's not glass and it's not metal.
So I got pottery.
Pottery does not need mikveh unless it's glazed. If it's glazed, without a bracha. If it's not glazed, nothing, no mikveh. Pottery is no mikveh.
Oh, well, anyway, it's glazed.
It's glazed. So you put it in the mikveh without a bracha.
Okay, well, this is when I first got the apartment.
Okay.
So now, a few items I used, sometimes I may use cereal, I don't think I used any of them for meat, but what I'm trying to get at, so you just answered my question. So now, if I didn't use them because I forgot exactly what I did put in them, and I didn't use them for years, they're just sitting in the
Yeah,
back.
they're a parv now. It's all
they're
parv now.
Par.
Yeah.
Everything's par,
Yeah.
okay.
If you didn't use them, especially if you didn't use it for any hot, there's no absorption.
It does
Cold.
still have to go into the mikveh.
Yeah, it has to go at least once in his lifetime. It has to go at least once in his lifetime in a mikveh.
So even if let's say I put soup in one, which is hot.
Yeah, but after a year, it's gone. The
Oh,
taste is gone. That's Rav Moshe
I'm
Feinstein.
past that, okay.
Yeah, if it's expensive, you don't want to throw it out. Why throw it out? Plus, you don't have to throw it out. You can give it to a non-Jewish neighbor. Why do you have to throw it out? Don't throw anything out. So the metals can be koshered. The glass, according to some opinions, doesn't need to be kosher at all because it doesn't absorb. It's only the pottery really which is the problem. Pottery is the problem. And plastic and pottery have to be thrown out basically, or given away, given away.
Or put aside for a year.
Pardon?
Or put aside for a year.
Put aside for a year. If it's expensive, today,
Saying only if it's
only if it's value has value, then it's a heter for things which are expensive. You don't throw it out. Basically, you don't give away.
One-time use things, you know.
Women love getting new cutlery and new things. They love it. They love it. Oh, let's kosher my kitchen. This is where I get new sets of things. They love it. They love it. It's fantastic. I had a case. I know a case personally that happened. That she was very happy. Her husband was very upset. He had to buy all new stuff, and she was very happy. I got new stuff now. Coming. Yeah. Sorry.
One-time use things don't
One time?
use like maybe a couple.
No. One time use. No. Mikvah does not. It's chat pami. You're going to throw it out. Things you're going to throw out. No mikvah. Things you're going to keep. For example, people use these jars. They get jelly, whatever, in a jar. Say, hey, I want to reuse the jar. You want to reuse the jar? Put it in the mikvah. Okay?
According to
Put it-
Ashkenazim.
Everyone.
Sfaradim too.
Yeah. If you're going to use it forever, that's it. Becomes yours. It's
yes, it's the ownership really.
the ownership. It's transferring ownership. It becomes a Jewish vessel. It's like a baptism. It's interesting. We baptize the vessel, not just the person, but also the vessel. So it's amazing. That's where they got it from. They got it from us. Idea of baptism. It came from us. The vessel has to go to the kashrut. Okay, meat and milk. So separate sets of dishes, pots, silverware, serving trays, bread trays, salt shakers. So again, a salt shaker, the truth is you just have one salt shaker. It's enough. Anything you don't put things in, there's no issue. The issue is just pouring it out. There's no problem. The problem is if you actually take the salt, you have a spoon there, you're taking things out. You may use a meat spoon, a milk spoon, you need two.
What about the salt shaker though?
Or it's like sugar, same thing.
If you're eating meat or dairy, you're undoubtedly going to get some of the cheese or meat on your
Right,
hands.
right. So it's good. Make sure it's clean. Make sure it's clean. Separate sets of draining boards, draining racks, dish sponges, scouring pads, dish towels, tablecloths. It's Friday we say that the soap does not have to be kosher. Why? It's not edible by a dog. The laws of kashrut do not apply to things which are not edible by dogs. Very simple. However, Ashkenazim say, no, even the soap should be kosher. Soap should be kosher. So you get a kosher. Today you get so many soaps which are kosher. All the expensive soaps are kosher. The cheap soaps you can buy in the dollar store, they don't have a hesher. But Sephardim say soap does not need to be kosher. Why? Because it's not edible by a dog. Very simple. Yes.
Okay, so going back to the meat and milk, and
Yes.
so now I go to Glot.
Yes.
I get little containers with the
Yes.
vegetables,
Yeah.
meat, and this. So I could keep it on the same.
Coming to it. We didn't
separate
get there.
milk.
We're talking about fridge. Yeah, we didn't get there yet. But you're right. Let's talk about it. We'll get there. So very practical is to get separate sets of meat and dairy utensils around a color scheme. So this is meat, this is milk. Usually meat is red, dairy is blue, draining racks, sponges, dish towels, all part of this system. Choose a color code. Remember the color code so you don't mix things up in the kitchen. Things which look alike, you mark them. This is red and this is, you get a spray paint, whatever. Plastic tape, other things. The sink. Let's talk about the sink. So if you have two sinks, fantastic. How do you kosher a sink? So the answer is, leave it 24 hours, pour boiling hot water. That works by metal. So Sephardim, it also works by ceramics, sinks. Ashkenazim, they're strict by ceramics. And therefore they say you cannot kosher a ceramic sink. So therefore you get these sink inserts. You get these little, what are they called? Buckets? Not buckets, but what are they called?
The plastic
Inserts, yeah, for the sink.
Okay, so
So you have one for meat and one for milk. This way you store all the dirty plates in the plastic, and then when you need to wash, you put them under the sink. Very simple.
Different though than the grates that people put.
Grates. You want to put grates? Put two different kinds of grates.
Bananas good.
You have meat grate, but it's not as great, as he says. It's not as great. Because you want to fill up the sink with water, you can't. Because then it gets contaminated. But if you have a metal sink, you can kosher, make it one or the other. But if you have a ceramic, some people say you can't kosher ceramic. Huh?
Meaning only have one grate, one sink. The sink is always dairy.
Right.
The grate is always meat. No problem with the grate being on.
Yeah, but the best thing to do is get these bowls. Best thing is get a bowl. Better than grates. It's much more practical because it fills up. It fills up and then it's going to spill and then, get the bowl. And it's much easier. So you put all the dirty stuff in a bowl, you wash it under the tap, and it goes in the bowl. Yes.
Question.
Yes.
Ceramics.
Ceramics.
Now, are they absorbable or aren't they?
So we said ceramics generally everyone agrees are absorbable. Are absorbable except for Rabbi Abadi and Lakewood, who says if they're coated with glass, they got a law of glass. He's the most lenient there is, and most people don't follow that. That's not the custom. The custom is not like that. Custom, I hold ceramics are absorbed. Because just in case they get cuts.
Or the glaze didn't go on.
The glaze didn't go on properly. Yeah, exactly. The glaze sometimes is very, very thin.
But then you have 24 hours
What do you mean?
in between.
Yes. If it hasn't been used 24 hours, then it's pagub. The taste that went in it doesn't make anything not kosher. However, le'atkila, you shouldn't use it. I'm talking about le'atkila. In the ideal sense, you shouldn't use it. Ideally, you shouldn't use it for anything else. So we talk about the sink. You should try and get something that the sink doesn't splash from one sink to another sink. Make sure that the water stays in one sink. Some people put dividers between the two sinks.
You know what I mean?
A table, huh?
Is 2 sinks only necessary if you're doing hot stuff in that? I mean, if you're using just cold water the whole time.
Yeah, but it's better to get bowls.
Oh, yeah.
As we said. It's better to get bowls where there's no confusion. You got a milky bowl, you got a meaty bowl. Why use the same sink? So then you have to ask a question. You put everything in the same sink. You can imagine you have meat and milk in the same sink.
No, I meant if only one at a time.
One at a time. And then you put the hot water. And there's a little bit of meat left and a little bit of milk. And get mixed up.
Can you wash out the sink?
Why bother? Why go through that? I'm talking about I'm talking about the best situation. You want to make the best possible kosher kitchen. Now you don't make everything b'diavad. You want to make everything la'atkila, ideally in the ideal sense. Tables can be used for meat and dairy if you use placemats or different tablecloths. Very simple. Shulchan Aruch says 2 people can eat at the same table, one eating meat, one eating milk, as long as you have a divider, which is not normally on the table, or you have different placemats. Right? So you can use the same table for meat and milk, just make sure it's cleaned in between, or you have different tablecloth for either surface. Countertops, same thing. Either use the countertop for meat or use it for milk. So usually if you have 2 sinks, or you have a sink in the middle, you have countertop on the right side for use for milk, and counter on the left side for the meat. Very simple. Refrigerators can be used, Baruch Hashem, for all types. Baruch Hashem, thank God for that.
Countertops have to be kosher.
Huh?
2 countertops have to be kosher. If
It depends. What you're putting on the countertop. If you're putting food directly on the countertop, yes,
they're,
it should be kosher. How do you kosher a countertop? So pour boiling hot water. And you didn't use it 24 hours, you pour boiling hot water. If you did use it within 24 hours, you just have to put bleach. Bleach ruins the taste. You put boiling hot water and you kosher it. That's how you kosher it. If you can't kosher it, you can't put boiling hot water, it's plastic or whatever it is, cover it with foil. Or use a liner. So that you can get liners for the countertops.
So you're actually saying if this is a countertop,
Yes.
meat directly on the countertop,
Yes.
no plates, just
Meat doesn't.
Meat or a hot
Meat.
pot of meat. Or a hot pot of meat. A hot pot of meat makes it meaty. Hot pot of meat.
okay.
So this way you just keep one side for meat and one side for milk. The refrigerator and freezer. This is your question. If you can designate this is a meaty shelf, this is a milky shelf. The whole issue is that maybe the meat will fall into the milk and the milk will fall into the meat. If everything is sealed, there's no issues. And if you're careful that nothing should fall, well, again, there's no issues. Because you're not cooking inside the fridge. Nothing cooks inside the fridge. It's the opposite. However, you put hot stuff in the fridge, you've got to be very careful. If dairy drips, so you say you have dairy inside, the milk is dripping onto your meat underneath. Got to be problems. So it's better to cover everything, and this way, but you be careful. The stovetop. That's much more complex. Now we say, Sephardi, every time you use your stovetop, you're actually koshering it. Because the food is being burnt at the same time. You're cooking your food, and anything which falls into the fire is being self-koshered. Because the fire is burning automatically.
Burning what?
you're talking just about.
I say you're boiling a pot of milk in the fire, and the milk is spilling over into the fire.
Doesn't usually spill.
Sometimes it does. I'll say meat, say you're cooking soup and the soup is overflowing. Same thing. So can you use meat and milk on the same burner? And the answer is yes. Why? Because the burner is kosher itself. Some people are strict. This side is for meat on the stove, and this side is for milk. Okay, ashrecha. Why not? Even better. Otherwise, just try and make sure everything's clean. The grates are clean. Everything's clean. And if you need to kosher it, very simple. All you do is put the fire on full. That's the for gas. That's the best. And the grates are clean and the fire's on full.
But if it's outside on top, how long does it have to burn?
Say 20 minutes.
20
I say
minutes.
usually 20 minutes. You cover it with a blech, and you put it on for 20 minutes. That's enough. We're gonna talk more in detail about it. And just make sure when you're cooking two pots, one of milk and one of meat, that the steam doesn't contact each other. Right? So it's better to cook separately. You got meat one day, milk one day. Don't cook on the same time. You got meat and milk on the same time going on the stove because it gets problematic. Don't lift the lids at the same time. Meat lid and the dairy lid at the same time. The oven. The oven you have to use for one type at a time. You cannot use an oven for both meat and milk at the same time unless everything is double wrapped, like in an airline. Right? That's why airline meals are double wrapped. Why are they double wrapped? Because otherwise they're going to become treif. Very simple. So it's very important. Nothing can go in and nothing comes out. So if everything is double wrapped, can you imagine you can cook meat and milk in the same oven as long as it's all sealed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sealed. Very simple. Double wrap it.
So you take
Double wrap it in tin foil.
tinfoil, yeah, I was going to ask.
Double wrap it. Put it in the oven. No problem.
So, okay, that's good.
Because the only issue is, there's two issues. One is recha, one is steam. So steam is the main issue. Halacha is recha la milta. Smell itself is no problem. The smell in the oven does make a difference.
What about an oven where, for the main part of the oven, you're always using it as dairy, and then just in the broiler tray underneath?
It depends. If there's two separate sections, you can make one. Today they have ovens with two sections.
There
But if there are no two sections, they're joint, you got a problem.
are a few holes.
A few holes. But the question is, are they joint? Is there a link? Are they linked?
I mean, there are just some holes on
In
the
Israel
side.
today, they have two. They have ovens, beautiful. They're separate completely, two compartments.
I'm not referring to cooking at the same time, but just separate, uncovered, but not at the same
It
time.
depends if they're the same oven. If it's one oven, it's one oven. If it's not one oven, it's two separate ovens. No problem. If it's one oven, you have to wait. So there's a machloket over here, big machloket. How long do you have to wait? 24 hours between the meat and milk, uncovered. And some people say you have to kosher it. Rabbi Yosef is very strict on this. You have to kosher the oven in between meat and milk.
Every day.
You cannot use uncovered meat in the same oven you baked uncovered milk. And you can't use uncovered milk in the same oven you baked uncovered meat. It's got to be kosher in between. That's why the best thing to do is double wrap it. Now, there is a heter. Rav Moshe Feinstein is very lenient. If the food you cooked was dry, so you baked a cake, you baked a dairy, you baked pizza. Pizza is dry. You bake pizza in the oven. In that oven, according to Rav Moshe Feinstein, you finish your pizza. The oven is clean. You can cook meat in the oven.
Okay, fellas.
Why? Because there's no steam from the food. But if you cook a dairy, something which has got liquid in it, moisture, there's a lot of steam. So foods which don't give off steam, there's no issue. Because the whole issue is the steam. The steam goes up in the oven, gets clogged over there, and comes down again when it gets hot again.
So it needs to both be 24 hours and to kosher according to the Sfardi.
According to Rabbi Yosef, it's very strict. Very strict. Oof.
Both of those.
Yeah, both. 24 hours and kosher.
Wow.
There are
Very
also ovens that have continuous
Yeah,
ventilation.
yeah. We're going to see it's not so great. Because sometimes they do get dirty and you can, it's a problem cleaning them. So you put a self-clean cycle is the koshering, that's it. Ovens with self-clean cycles, that's the easiest way to kosher oven. The truth is if you could double wrap it, there are no problems at all.
Okay, so now, getting back to the pizza.
Pizza, yes.
Usually pizza, you have the
It has
cheese
sauce.
on there.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
you can get some kind of vapor from the cheese,
Yes, but there's very little vapor, that's what Moshe Feinstein says, since it's not liquid, it's a dry solid, and there's very little vapor, very little vapor. But again, why bother with this? Why get into these questions? Don't do it. Very simple. Don't do it. Double wrap the pizza, put it. I don't know how it comes out when it's double wrapped.
I always buy pizza from the store.
Or you just get the small, the little oven. What's it called? That little tabletop.
Toaster oven?
Toaster oven. You put a pizza in the toaster oven. That's what we do. So your main oven is meat, and the toaster oven is your dairy. How much, pizza doesn't take much room. That's the best way. Have two ovens, really. That's the best. Really, the best way is two ovens, because you're bound to cook something which is open and it's going to be liquid, and you're bound to do something.
So, you wouldn't have to throw an oven around.
There's no tevilah. We said anything which does not come in direct contact with food does not need to be put in the mikveh. Nothing in the oven comes in contact with the food. Even the shelves don't come in contact with the food. Nothing. So you buy a toaster oven. Nothing. Nothing goes to the mikveh. Unless you put food directly on the rack. So put foil. Put a pan. So this way the pan goes to the mikveh, not the... The problem is the kettle, electric kettle we said, and the problem is the electric toaster. Those are things you can't really avoid. The food comes in contact with the food. So you have three options there we said. Number one is to put it in the mikveh and let it dry properly. Number two is give it non-Jew and borrow it back. Number three is try and fix it, open it and fix it yourself. Put it back together again. That's where Jew made it. Three. So Ashkenazim have another problem because they want to make an oven which is parav. Don't forget, Ashkenazim have big problems because they have to have three sets of dishes. Three kinds of ovens now. You need the parav oven, you need a dairy oven, you need a mini oven. If you want to eat parav food, so you need a parav oven. Or just double wrap everything.
Just wait 24 hours.
Okay. So you have to kosher the oven. You have to wait 24 hours, make sure everything's clean, put it on a self-clean cycle, that's it.
So if
That's how you get a kosher oven.
I
You
want
have to clean it for pie.
baked potato.
Baked potato. What are you going to eat with baked potato with? Meat or milk?
No, I don't usually put anything on.
So just put it in anytime.
So I'm saying, my microwave is like pop dairy.
Good.
Okay. So now I would have to put that in 2 bags, or
For what?
because then I want to crisp it up in the oven.
What do you want to eat it with? Oh, you want to crisp it in the oven. I
Right.
see.
Because
So your microwave is dairy
and parv.
and parav, so you got to put it in the microwave and
It cooks it real quick.
cooks it nice, then you put it in the oven afterwards.
Real quick,
Yeah.
and then there's 5 minutes, crisp it up in the
Yeah,
oven.
so you put it in a plastic
the
bag.
oven, put it two couple of layers of aluminum, right?
If you want to.
Yeah.
Either in the oven or in the microwave, either one of the two. In the microwave you put the plastic bag, this way there's no steam, it doesn't become dairy. It
Okay, so plastic bags, okay.
doesn't become dairy.
And then
I don't know how healthy that is, but it's... Okay. Small appliances. An electric mixer, well, as long as you have separate blades for meat and milk, you use the same mixer. As long as it's clean, no problem. Right? As long as the attachments are different.
Even though some that inevitably is going to...
Yeah, so what you do is clean it, make sure it's clean. So you get one of these sprays, Fantastic or something, just wipe it. That's it. Dishwashers. Now, usually most people say you need 2 dishwashers, one for meat, one for milk. However, Rav Ovadia Yosef is very, very lenient over here. And he says dishwashers are made from a certain material that does not absorb. It's made from material which is the Shulchan Aruch uses by the heart of the animal. Heart of the animal, the texture of the heart, full of blood. The heart is full of blood. Shulchan Aruch says, how do you kosher the heart? You cut it in pieces so all the blood comes out, and then you can just kosher it with salt, which is amazing. How can you kosher the heart? So he says because it's made of a material that does not absorb blood. Wow. So there's a concept in halakha of materials that don't absorb. We say glass is one of them according to Shulchan Aruch. But Rav Ovadia says there's also the coating inside the dishwasher does not absorb, and therefore he's a tremendous chidush, very big leniency. He says you can even wash clean meat and milk dishes at the same time if they're rinsed and there's no fat. He's very, very lenient because nut bar nut, but Sephardim were lenient. And but according to him, definitely you can be able to use separate cycles. One meat dish cycle, one milk dish cycle in a dishwasher. Which Ashkenazim say, for goodness sake, no, definitely not. Definitely not. No. However, if the dishwasher is made out of stainless steel, then even Ashkenazim would agree. If you run an empty cycle in between, you can use it for meat and milk. And Pesach. If you run an empty cycle with soap in between, if it's made of stainless steel, that's the best. Stainless steel is the best according to everyone because it can be kosher in between. But Rav Yosef says no. Even better than stainless steel absorbs. This dishwasher, normal dishwashers don't absorb. Even better than the stainless steel.
Has the racks absorbed probably.
Racks probably don't. He said no, he doesn't care about the racks because he puts soap as well. Soap is the one that makes it pagum. Everything's pagum. Okay. Now there's a difference between gas range tops and electric range tops. There's different kinds of range tops, electric range tops. So electric, we said gas, all you have to do to kosher the gas stove is remove everything, clean with steel wool, soap and water, clean the entire surface under the top of the oven, reassemble the cooking surface, ignite the fire to the grates, the top heat the glow 15 to 20 minutes. 15-20 minutes, you put the heat on full, everything's clean, kosher. Or you can even put the grates in the oven for 20 minutes, because the way oven also kosher things. Especially if you put them in a clean cycle in the oven, self-clean cycle in the oven, fantastic. You clean the grates. So now the electric range, so some of them have coils. We have them downstairs over here, the coil ones. Very easy to kosher. You just put them on full, again 15-20 minutes. That's it. Koshered. Beautiful. The problem is these new fangled electric ovens which have glass. The glass ones. A smooth top electric range. The elements of the stove can be turned on until they come to a glow. The burner area now considered kosher. Regarding the rest of the cooktop, some people say you need to kosher all the cooktop. So you can just pour boiling hot water on the cooktop. I don't know how that affects the oven. So therefore a person should try and keep the pots away from that area, away from the fire. The fire can be kosher, but the rest of it is very hard to kosher. Okay. So you can pour boiling hot water. A microwave. Clean it thoroughly. How do you kosher a microwave? Put a vessel with a few ounces of water in the oven and allow it to vaporize with the steam. The best thing to do is put a little bit of bleach in that water, and this way the water makes everything in the microwave pagum, and this way the microwave is kosher.
So you want just a few ounces of water, that's it?
Put half a cup of water. Half a cup of water.
Three,
Let
four
it
ounces.
boil over into the microwave. As long as the microwave is clean, hasn't been used 24 hours. Put the water over there, and the water kosher. That's it. Very simple. However, microwave models with browning or convection features are like regular ovens. That's a big problem. There's no real way to kosher them because it's a microwave with an oven. It's both. That's the problem. So try to avoid these newfangled microwave ovens. Okay. Okay. How do you kosher a pot? Very simple. Same thing. Clean it. Wait for 24 hours. And then you immerse it in another pot which is bigger. That's the problem with the pots. Immerse it in a pot which is bigger. And that's hagala. Take it out and wash it. Or, suppose the pot is very big. You can't, there's no other big pot. What do you do with it? And you see all these people use hot stones. So you fill it up with boiling hot water. In fact, it's probably better on the fire so it's boiling. And then you got to make that water overflow. The Rashba says, make the water overflow. And when the water overflows, it koshers the outside as well. That's a big pot. And that's where they got this hot stone from. You put the stone on the fire and then you take the stone with the tongs and put it in the water to make the water overflow. Truth is, you don't have to use a hot stone. You can use anything to make the water overflow. Pop something in, but boils over. This way, the pot is being koshered from the inside and the outside. That's the trick of the Rashba. The Rosh Shlomo ben Aderet, who was the chief rabbi of Spain at one time. Yes.
If you have a kosher pot with boiling hot water, and then you're trying to put another pot in to kosher it, like, isn't that doing something to the kosher pot?
No, because the kosher pot wasn't used for 24 hours, and the second pot also not used for 24 hours. Everything's pagum. Plus, what comes out is probably going to be annulled inside.
Getting back to the
So what you have to do is quickly, as soon as you take it out, you have to wash it with cold water. Why? It's because everything that comes out of that pot is now washed off. Doesn't go back in. All the stuff you're trying to get rid of. So the pot is meaty. You're trying to get the meat out of the pot. So now you put it in the hot water. Make sure you wash off what came out of it straight away, so it doesn't go back in. But b'diavad we say it doesn't go back in. B'diavad we say it's a kosher.
the 3 to 4 ounces of water in the microwave.
Yes.
Completely used up all the water.
Yeah. So put it on full so it vaporizes.
And then you said you could use the bleach.
Bleach.
What about distilled white vinegar?
Yeah, anything which ruins the taste. I don't know why vinegar is going to ruin the taste. Anything which ruins the taste of anything.
Just
It's a
white
stricture.
vinegar,
It's a stricture. Yeah, it's a stricture.
Ammonia, probably.
Ammonia. Right? A stricture. It's a stricture.
So,
Okay. Any questions? Anything we need to talk about? Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one more.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, you have a glass.
Glass.
A glass.
Glass.
You know.
Clear glass. Drinking
So
glass.
now, one time you use it for tea,
One time you have tea.
so it's pop.
Power.
Okay, let's say you accidentally use it for coffee with milk.
Coffee with milk.
So now, somewhere along the line, if it gets mixed up and you have a meat,
Yes.
what happens to that glass? I mean, if you clean it with a brush and hot water and soap, you know, rinse, can it still be used because you used it?
So let me just tell you. Number one is, according to Sephardim, there's no question. Right, that's number one. According to Sephardim, let's clear that up. According to Ashkenazim, it depends. If you put the glass with boiling hot water, so about water which is over 110 degrees, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, it's boiling hot water. Then it's yatzoledbo. Around 112 is yatzoledbo. If it's from a kli rishon, if the glass is a kli rishon, then everything absorbs. And if the glass is a kli sheni, nothing absorbs. So usually it's kli sheni. A glass is kli sheni because you pour the kettle is the kli rishon. You're pouring the hot water into the kettle. The water now in the cup is now kli sheni. Now you're pouring the milk, which is freezing cold, in the cup. So there's no absorption. So that cup's still parv. You can say the cup is still parv. So now you're washing, especially now you're washing it and you're putting it with soap, you can count the cup as parv still. Ideally, it's not a good thing to do. For Ashkenazim, they shouldn't put milk in the cup and use that cup for both. But b'diavad,
You know, for instance.
b'diavad, the cup is still parv. Any other questions? Penny, anything? Okay, good. Okay, Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen, amen.